Most of us try to get on with each other as best we can, but sometimes we find ourselves in difficult situations like a car accident or a dispute with our neighbours. And Mari Patani's found it's important we know our rights.
Hey fellas. Oh, g'day, John.
It's an unlikely combination, two lawyers and a taxi driver who get together to sing folk songs. And they're songs with a difference.
1, 2, 3. Do you think I would leave you lying?
Civil libertarian Ian Dearden, barrister John Thompson and cab driver Evan Mathieson are all members of the Queensland Folk Federation. The trio travel far and wide to festivals singing about civil rights. Ian had the idea a couple of years ago when he was giving another monotonous lecture on the topic.
I finally thought, well, I'm a folkie, I've been a folkie for 20 years, I can play guitar, I can sing songs. Why not put it into something interesting and actually make it interesting, relevant and fun and get a chance to sing with a couple of old mates?
Ian says people often forget that they have rights when confronted by authority figures like the police.
People don't know their rights. Police work on that because, I mean, their business is trying to charge people and trying to have them convicted, and fair enough, that's what they're trying to do. What we're trying to do is make sure that people know their rights and look after their own interests.
Ian says many people are wrongly accused of committing offences, so it's worth knowing what your rights are when it comes to the law. If a policeman asks you to come down to the station, you're not obliged to go unless you've been arrested. Of course, you should always try to cooperate. If you do go down to the station, you only have to answer 4 questions: your name, address, date of birth and place of birth. If you answer anything else, you may be in danger of incriminating yourself. And although there's no legal right to a lawyer, you should always ask for one.
Before you count to 3.
The trio have taken songs like Rolf Harris's 2 Little Boys in Blue and changed the words to get their message across.
Now 2 little boys and 2 little toys, a whistle and a helmet blue.
In participating with it, I've been absolutely amazed at the number of people who have absolutely no idea of how they should behave when confronted with an odd situation. Even in the case of something like motor accidents, most people go to pieces and they totally forget what they should be doing.
The advice is don't panic. You should immediately exchange names, addresses and registration numbers. Don't assume that the accident was your fault and never admit liability. Call the police if there's extensive damage to the vehicles. And remember, if someone's been injured and you leave without calling the police, you could be charged with a serious offence.
Sturdy, give it a shake, look at it, look at it.
But probably the most misunderstood area when it comes to knowing your rights lies over the fence with your neighbour. The most common of neighbourhood disputes seem trivial at first, dividing fences, overhanging trees and straying pets. But it's surprising just how easily these disputes can blow up.
A neighbour had taken hold of a football that the children of my client had kicked over by mistake and put a knife through the football. So my client yelled out a threat over the fence. "You do that again, I kill you." And they're in court with an assault charge.
Disputes over fences are covered by the Dividing Fences Act, which says neighbours have to split the cost of a shared partition. Overhanging branches can be cut off but must be returned to the owner. If your neighbour's pets stray onto your property, generally nothing can be done. Noise from vehicles, appliances or musical instruments is covered by legislation, but it's best to call the police if the noise is a nuisance.
The trouble is, to go to courts to have that stopped is very expensive. So when parties get into, or when neighbours get into silly problem areas like that, what they really have to try to do is to resolve it themselves.
So there you have it. All you need to get in tune with knowing your rights.
Woke up in this morning, think we're looking back.
Mari Patani there and knowing your rights. We'll take a quick break on Extra, then we